So for Eeps, welcome to In the Chair With. How the devil are you?
I'm really good.
Yeah, I woke up about 15 minutes ago. Very excited for this interview.
Awesome. And just run through, introduce yourselves individually. I love the cup already. I love love it already. Excellent.
Is that okay? Is that allowed?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wait, does it? So, since this isn't TV or radio, does that mean we can swear?
Yeah, of course. Fucking go for it.
Poo poo caca. Okay. I'm Danny.
Yes.
I'm the front man, I guess, of the band. I sing, I play guitar, I write the good songs.
That's just not true. I'm Alinka. I play keys and vocals in the band, and so far I've written the best song in this band, but still debatable.
Of course, and now we'll go to the person that really writes the songs, and that's you. Yep.
Well, I'm just Blanche and I just play bass.
You just play bass. No, okay, get out of that mindset, because I know bass players get a bit of a rap and they get locked into a bit of a box. No, the bass is a fantastic instrument. It's my third instrument, and it took me about 40 years to actually become kind of like proficient in it and actually understand the nuance that it can have, because it can be both percussive as well as melodic, as well as be the driving force. So never put yourself down as a bass player.
And then there's our fourth member, which is the teddy bear at the back.
I was going to ask, that's your PR manager? No?
Yes, he's our Brian Epstein.
Okay, so just to those that don't know you, what kind of music kind of are you into? You know, what is it that the bands of the Eeps are all about? So
we're all very different. I would say we've got a very different set of music tastes between us all. I'm very I love Green Day. I love Nirvana. Green Day got me into music. Mm-hmm. I love like the 90s grunge and also the 90s pop punk stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm the one in the band who loves that stuff, and that's what drives me to write the way that I write. And then everyone else is very different. I mean, you'll see the contrast.
Yeah, so I tend to listen to a lot more 70s, 60s kind of rock. I'm a big fan of The Who, Dire Straits, Zeppelin, Rolling Stones, and Oasis, I tend to incorporate Oasis quite a lot in the songs that I write. And then I also play a lot of jazz. So.
Oh, okay, that's a bit of a detour for the 70s kind of rock, but.
But it's always good to play something for the audience when the guitarist is setting up.
Then there's you.
Oh, it's my turn.
Yes, yeah.
I kind of like the mix of these two, really, just like from 60s to 90s, from like Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Nirvana, Green Day, just kind of everything.
Yeah, no, good. So, like, how did you kind of all sort of come together? I have to just quickly ask: is that a Pizza Express shirt?
That hers or mine?
Yours.
Mine.
Yeah. Is that?
No, it's not. It's just a piece of paper.
No, okay. I apologise, because I wore one of those, unfortunately, for 2.5 years. It looks exactly the same, the cut, the fit, everything. But
really,
no, okay, no, I apologise. Okay, so anyway, back to the serious music interview. Yes, how did you all come together?
I think Blanche will be a good one for this one, because she's the one who's like knew about the story. On you go. Tell the story about how we met Jay. I'll tell the story about how we met Jay.
Okay, go.
So basically, we met. I met Blanche first through another band, back when I first moved to London, and then we got along nicely. We left that band, and we were walking in Angel, and we were struggling to find a drummer just to like create a band of some sort. And we found this drummer walking in Angel. We ran over to him.
How did you know he was a drummer? I'm just picturing you walking through Angel, and there's just a person walking.
So
flashing lights, I'm a drummer, or is it carrying sticks?
He was carrying all his drum gear because he was walking with his band as well. And I apologize to all the band members first, because I know how much of a dick move it is to steal a drummer. But I basically apologized to everyone. I said, would you like to come jam with us? We like Nirvana, we like Green Day, we like the Beatles and all this stuff. And he just said, okay, I'll give it a shot. And yeah, he came and joined us. And then we've went through a multiple different lineup. But I would say the Eeps as how we are didn't set in till we met Alinka, because she's changed, I think, a lot of the sound with her keyboard playing. She was also the drummer at one point, but we don't talk about that.
We don't talk about that.
Yeah, that's kind of how we came to be.
What was it? What was the change that you kind of imposed on the band and Lincoln? Was it this some compositional form with the kind of the jazz and structure? What was your tweak?
I added some more unconventional chords to the usual structures and went on, and also my backing vocals helped a lot with just changing the vibe, redirecting it, because I've got a very soft voice, so when I sing with him, it ends up going from more of a grunge to more of like a
rock and roll, soft rock, yeah.
Yeah.
Oasis-y. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Sorry, carry on. No worries.
I always try and incorporate some sort of blues in there somewhere, so you can't really hear it, but it makes a small difference.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. How just a little flourish here and there can sort of help build an identity of something that kind of did look like something else, sound like something else, and it's what you've got to do, because that's the approach that you take. So what's kind of been going on? I see one release on Spotify. What's happening in the studio?
We have recorded so much. That's something that we're very happy to say now. Mm-hmm. However, how much of it's finished is a totally different story. We have recorded the same set of songs. I think we're on number 5 now. We've recorded it 5 times, because each time we record, we get better and better. And each time we've recorded it, because of the distance between, the time of recording them, we can't just record it 5 times within a space of a week. We've been playing these songs now for, what is it, a year and a half now? Like 2 years ago, we met with the original lineup. So me, the drummer, and the bassist have all been knowing these songs back to back. She picks up these songs very fast as well. So we all know them very well. So each time we record them better and better. But the issue with that is, when is for me personally, I don't know when we've reached our peak of when these songs are as good as they can get. So I keep on wanting to re-record them and all this. It's gotten to the point now that on number 5, everyone inside the band has said, we're not doing it again.
Yeah. I would say that's probably a good thing. You've got the thing is 4 years down the line, if you're still playing some of the material, you're going to ace it. It's going to be like second nature. You'll also add different flourishes and different touches as you become an independently stronger vocalist, a more dexterous keyboardist, and so on and so on. Because obviously it has a time cost and a financial cost, kind of going into the studio to record the same album 5 times, perhaps.
I think the first time we recorded, like the first few times we recorded, we did it on a very, very, very cheap budget. Now we've got our university, which is like, I mean, technically we pay for it because of the student loan, but it's really good equipment, really good quality, and it sounds great now. So it sounds so much better than whatever we've done in the past. However, I have said this, and I haven't said this to the guys yet, but I personally believe that the only time I'll ever re-record everything again is if we get signed to some sort of record label and they say, here's money to go work with a producer and go do this. I would happily do like a full revamp of these songs again, but professionally, because they could always be more professional. We're not.
Yeah. The thing is you're at your university for a defined period of time. And so your access to that studio has definitive time period. So if business head on, it would probably be advantageous for you to record as many albums as possible within that defined period of time, instead of the 2 or 3 times over. So yeah, make use of it, because it's at that access to that quality that is going to give you the back catalogue that is going to be of potential interest to any labels that you approach. Yeah, so it's and a lot of bands don't have that kind of that access that you have within the university. So you know,
this is true, actually.
double down. My invoice is in the post for the advice, but it's it would be. I'd love to. I went to music college, and then I just, life and personal reasons, I ducked out of it, and I've just been a solo path from there. And I support lots of musicians and go down that, and studio time and getting good quality productions, and you know, the myth of kind of being able to do everything through your home studio and stuff. You know, these are awkward and difficult endeavors. So I'd encourage you to get another album out of them. I don't know how long you've got left to run, but get another album out of that studio if you can.
It's nearly finished, but our plan is we were going to release it as an album. However, we've decided that we're going to stick with singles for now. So by the end of us releasing all these singles, you know, it's probably going to be like, you know, an album.
Yeah.
We've got like, what was it? I think it's like 10 or 12 songs already recorded everywhere, you know, and nearly finished. But it's just about how I want to do it, how we want to do it as a band. And I think the best way is just to release them as singles rather than one album, because we have like a mini following, but we don't have a big following that would, you know, splash out in an album. But you can gather more of a following by releasing a single here, and then one here, then one here, and along the lines, whoever didn't get picked up on this one will get picked up on this one, and so on and so forth.
I think that is the right strategy, because you know, an album is very nice if you've got people queuing up to hear it. Otherwise, it can be a bit of a sort of a vanity project, and an album has a very short lifespan, kind of marketing. If you release it all, and a few months later, it's old, and you're probably much closer to this than I am. But you know, today with all of the kind of a social media aspect and what I like to call TikTok brain, you know, just the information cycle, just you're obsolete much quicker. So by doing things by singles, you've got all the different supporting content and stuff around that, and then as that single gets old, you can then start looking at the pre-save on the next one, and so on, and build yourself up to the album. So I think that's potentially the right strategy. The name, the Eeps, you know, I tried to sort of figure out, was it an acronym for something? What is it? Where did it come from?
What does it actually mean?
So this is okay. So this is a funny story. This one,
Go.
and I feel really bad for if my parents are watching this.
I'll make sure the link gets to them.
The Eeps came up after. I may as well tell the proper story. Yeah, the Eeps came after a one night stand I had, and it was basically after all was said and done. She said she was EP, and I've never heard that before.
But that doesn't sound good.
Yeah. She was like, I'm EP, and the first thing, because I'm a bit of a dork, really, I love Doctor Who and all that. The first thing I thought of was, oh, sorry, we have cats, and I think one of them just jumped off the top of the.
That's fine.
I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, the first thing that came to mind, because I'm a bit of a dork, I love Doctor Who and all that stuff, is Eeps sounds like a little creature, like a little thing. And then I said, the Eeps, you know, like the creatures, the Eeps. And then my full train of mindset went, well, if I ever have a band, it'd be a stupid name to have, but I'll keep it in mind. And then when it came to us actually looking for a name that worked, that name stuck in my head. We tried different names, but the only one that really stuck was the Eeps. I love it. I love it now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's everything has a story behind it, and yeah, you're definitely individual in that. There's no way you can sort of misspell it, or it sounds like something else, unless there's a band called the Peeps or the Beeps or something potentially.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, it's a pretty solid identity. Tell me, for a bit from each of you, so you're kind of all included. When did you first kind of discover that music was going to be your thing, like it or not, and this is now become your life?
I'll start because mine's very like basic.
Okay.
I was 14. I was either 13 or 14. I had some history with music and musical theatre and all that type of stuff. But she just decided to vape at the side. That's so silly.
Yeah. That's right. I need my nicotine too. Yeah.
Sorry.
I ended up listening to Green Day. I wanted to be like him a little bit at the time, so I started trying to learn how to play songs, and then from that led on to just music in general and performing. So yeah, that was it.
Yeah, fair enough.
You look like a Muppet.
Yeah.
Is he always like this?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, break, man. But I started playing music when I was around 6.
It's you.
Oh, that was not very nice.
It's not very nice. When I was 6. I was in my first band when I was 10 or 11. And like, it's always been what I wanted to do. I've loved, because I started playing drums, singing, and I did orchestral percussion. So I was in orchestras, I was in big bands, I was in rock bands, jazz bands. It was always just what I loved. And then as I progressed, I realized that because my parents, they were like, yeah, you can't have a career in this stuff. You won't get any money out of it. And I was like, yeah. But then when I started progressing, I did music tech as an A-level, and I'm currently doing music production as my course. And I realized that I could actually have a career out of this. So yeah, I just love performing, and I've always loved performing, and whatever it takes to perform.
My experience is different with my family, actually. My family has been always very supportive. They did tell me that they never once told me that I couldn't make money from it, but they have told me that it's very, very difficult, but they do support me with it. It's one of the reasons that I'm in London. So I suppose it's strange, actually, because I feel like our level when it comes to being professional in music, you're more professional than I am. But I try as well. But it's funny to see that.
That look.
You do try. Well, no, I'm saying that you're better. See, she doesn't take compliments. This is why. No, it's just it's funny to see how that my supportive parents.
All right, no, calm down. My parents aren't not supportive.
No, but you get what I mean. Like, you're better than me, and your parents were less supportive than mine were, because mine were like, "You're gonna do great," and yours were like,
"We'll support
cautious.
you, but
yeah, we'll support you, but be careful." Maybe I should have had maybe my parents should have just like been more negative around me, and I'd be better.
That's fair.
It's like what's the name of that movie again? Whiplash. There we go.
I had a big band conductor exactly from Whiplash.
Not my tempo.
Not his tempo at all. I cried in one of the rehearsals.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's a case sometimes, supportive parenting can kind of, I don't know, maybe you're still hungry for it, but perhaps if you've got parents that are going, "Oh, don't do that," sometimes you'll drive or whatever, you'll become a little bit more tenacious. But at the end of the day, you've kind of ended up in the same pot, and you have your different kind of abilities and backgrounds, and I think you need that variety to form as a cohesive band. Because if everyone was super supportive and everyone got the guitar on their birthday and said the music career was brilliant, and we'd all the bands would have no color or grit to them.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, no matter how professional she is, she's still in this band.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she tolerates you more than the other way around. And over to you, the question.
For me, I think my granddad like offered me a guitar when I was really young, but I never played it. And then over COVID, I was just like, well, there's nothing to do, and I've got this guitar in my room, so let's just try do something with it. And I really enjoyed it, but I wasn't thinking about a music career. I was like more in the photography and art side of things.
Mm-hmm.
And my A level led me to doing a photography project on musicians because I wanted to, and then I realized that actually there's like music uni, and like you can actually have a band, and it's not hard, like not that hard. And so I started looking into it, and then I applied to music uni instead of art university, and yeah, then I met Danny and we formed a band, and
In addition to the bass, are you kind of responsible for any of the kind of like the imagery and the sort of photography and bringing some of that into it as well?
I'm trying, but not
But
that
he,
much.
but he won't let you. I can see it already. I've figured it out.
To be fair, I do not have access to the Instagram accounts. That's not helping.
Well, no, here's the thing though. She's not giving herself credit for the one thing that's quite big about our look that she designed.
I
The
did
logo?
the makeup look that we do every day, every gig on Danny.
Yeah.
The kind of splash of color and
Yeah,
eyeliner.
it can be a bit difficult to see, depends on the gig really, but
Mhm.
every gig that I do that we really care about, there's been like maybe one gig that I've not wore the makeup, but part of our look is I put makeup all around my
Yeah,
head.
and the thing down the side and all that. Yep.
Yeah, it's part of like, so I'm also really into David Bowie as well, that I didn't mention that.
Mhm.
And like I like the idea of like the glam rock as well, because it's very, I feel like that type of stuff is coming back, but I don't want to wait for it to come back. I want to be part of the wave. I want to be part of the comeback. I don't want to follow the comeback. And she designed the makeup. We went through. I designed the original one, which was just round my eyes and down, but she completely revamped it to what it is now, and I think it's quite cool. We're considering all developing a form of makeup for every single one of us. We've had this discussion
Jay's actually the
before.
one that
It was,
did it.
yeah, it was fun. Our drummer was the one who mentioned it, but he's very like he's into metal and he's into grunge.
Yeah.
So his idea of let's all do makeup is he wants to black out his eyes or do something like that, which is like the complete opposite of the rest of us. However, it is his character, so
Yeah, well, if you had all three of you following the kind of the glam thing, then and then the drummer in the back being the dark one, that could work. That could work. I mean, it is unfortunately it is with the kind of the marketing. You've kind of got to. You've always got to stand out, and sometimes just the music isn't enough. Sometimes it's just that little bit of visual that will keep someone looking at a reel for a few more seconds, or they'll like stick around to see you go on or whatever, and that can make a world of difference because you just don't know who's looking, who you're going to bump into.
yeah, I think people listen with their eyes to begin with when it comes to music, which is funny, especially with TikTok and Instagram. No one's going to listen to a reel, or no one's going to listen to your music till they actually see what you look like, which is so strange, unless they're blind or not looking at their phone and our music just happens to show up.
Yeah.
I think the look is the most important part, annoyingly, now with music. And a way to make it in the music is just you need to have a look. You need to have a gimmick of some sort. And I mean, the makeup, I don't want to call it a gimmick because I love it. I do it because I like it. But it does help with the look a lot. And it is our thing, and everything is technically a gimmick,
Yeah, I mean, with less of a gimmick, I'd say it's more of it's an accessory.
Yeah.
You have to you're responsible for putting a package together of not only sound but also of entertainment. And where you could be seen just to be doing something that's slightly individual that the band before you aren't doing or whatever. Yeah. This all matters, and it's those little touches and flourishes that they mount up. you know, and you know, before you know it, who knows, you'll have a stage show full of it, you know, full of glitter and makeup and drama and all that kind of stuff. When you formed the band and you started to go out kind of live, because you know, I appreciate you kind of younger than I, and you're stuck in your studies and all this kind of stuff. You know, was it an easy entrance to you into the live scene? Did you kind of encounter any kind of like resistance issues? Basically what I'm trying to drive it out is for anyone kind of younger and watching or listening, and they're kind of going to be taking those steps. What are the pitfalls to look out for? What are the horror stories? How do you survive it?
Do you have any? Because I've got quite a few.
I think you should.
Yeah. If advice for younger people, talk to people. Even if you're introverted, then you gotta keep in mind that no one's gonna walk up to you. No one is going to walk up to you, and unless you've got a look. But even then, I feel like if you're introverted, you won't have that extroverted look, obviously.
Yeah.
So practice speaking to people, and whether that is in the music industry, whether that is at live gigs, whether that's just trying to make friends or whatever, practice speaking to people and then take those skills that you learn and bring it to the live gigs that you go to see. Go to live gigs, speak to people. If that band just played an amazing set, you walk up to that band, you speak to the bass player, you speak to the drummer, and you say that was a fucking great set, you know? Even if it was crap, you tell them it was a great set, and you say that you want to support them, or you want to support them, you want to play a show together, and that's just the start of it, you know? That's how you'll do it. And on that show that you maybe support them, you'll find another band or maybe another 2 bands that night, and you speak to them in the backstage of things or during sound check, and it builds and it builds and it builds. Talk to people, because you're not gonna get anywhere if you don't. I mean, nowhere.
Was that a thing that you struggled with? Is it a path that you've had to learn to talk to people, coming from an introvert to an extrovert perspective? Because you seem quite extroverted.
I don't think Danny has ever struggled with talking. To be honest.
No, okay.
I grew up with a very extroverted dad, and my dad always told me and taught me to care what people think, but in the right things, in the right ways. So I always make sure that I look nice. I always make sure that I'm clean. I always make sure that I smell good and all that stuff, because that stuff matters. But when it comes to me being like, you know, my red hair or makeup or being just strange in general, I mean, it's my life. I'm only here for maybe 80 years if I'm lucky or so. But, you know, we never get claims or anything ever.
Yes. It's a plane landing on, yeah. I'm lucky if I'll live to be C80. Plane comes through the building, you know.
But yeah, no, my dad always taught me just to be myself, because like, what's the point?
Who else can you be?
And in that time, I'm not gonna lie, it's not made me friends with everyone, not at all. I mean, the people that I'm with now, the people that surround me, I know are good people, because I am really weird, I'm really strange, I'm really out there. But these guys are still here.
Nodding in the background. Yeah.
These guys are still here, and that's good company.
And any comments from you two ladies in relation to kind of coming out there, gig experiences?
I mean, I just got 3 words to say, not for me.
Right. I mean, networking is so important. What basically everything that Danny said, and it's really useful having a Danny with you, because I'm not as expert as he is. I can still talk to people, but like my I can't like come up with things as quickly as he does.
I'm your Danny.
Yeah. So it's really helpful having him in the band, I guess. I mean, if he didn't do that, we could just kick him out, because we don't really need him. But
Wait.
Oh, how the roles have reversed now.
How the turntables.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's been great watching him in action, because then he slowly builds up all of our confidences, and we're getting better. Even you're getting much better at talking to people. Yeah.
Nice. Just put her on the spot there. Bless. No, I mean, I'm extroverted now, but that wasn't the case for me. Certainly up until I think it was probably about my mid-30s, so I was a complete late bloomer, and all this kind of stuff. And even like, yeah, as an adult man, I mean, take things with a pinch of salt, but you know, even I've struggled. I started going out for filming kind of gigs and taking photos and stuff, and you know, hadn't been to London in years, and you know, struggling with crowds, and then I was the person responsible for being on stage waving a camera around in front of everyone, which was just not me. But now I absolutely love it. You know, case in point, this has only started about 6-7 months ago. And then a couple of months ago, I was in France filming a whole documentary, literally being the crazy guy with the camera. So,
Wow.
you know, it is just a case of a little bit of sucking it up, a little bit of being slightly careful with yourself, and just, you know that you've got a little bit of a retreat space, whether that's mentally or physically in an environment. But these are things that ultimately, you know, it makes sense for us to overcome. But there's certainly no shame in being, you know, quieter or, you know, less confident, because these are things that we got to build, and is always the case. We excel in other areas as well.
I feel like we've come to the performance segment of this interview.
Yes, I was going to ask, where are you playing next?
We're going to play here right now.
I'm gonna kill you. What do you want to play?
Magic Bar!
Are you a fan of The Who?
Yes, I don't mind a bit of The Who. Yep.
You know the song Magic Bus?
Yes, I am. Yep, familiar. Yep.
Well, I pretty much have the egg shaker locked down for Magic Bus, which is it's actually quite difficult to perform. It's Magic Bus, Magic Bus, Magic Bus. Every day I get on the bus. Get on the bus to take me. What am I doing?
But you know, it's shit like this that will get chopped up, put on TikTok, and you know, it'll be your viral moment. That's it, you know. In fact, normally I just divide the episode into equal segments of 5 minutes and put it for an auto scheduler, but I'm going to cut that bit out and I'm going to repeat it for the next 10 years.
Yes.
I'm going to tag you in it incessantly, and you're going to be known as the Magic Bus Girl.
I made sure that when we moved out of the frame, perfectly landscape for TikTok.
Yeah.
Right in the center, just going woo.
Yep. Consider it done. I apologise. So, back onto the performance segment, which is where are you playing next? Anything kind of lined up that we should be knowing about?
17th of January with Hot Fox.
I think so. That's what I've got on my calendar.
So I've been quite. We had a bunch of gigs lined up, and then we just reconfirmed with the promoter, and he was just like, "Oh no, never mind those." So there's a lot of dates in our calendar that I am so confused with now that I need to do a quick rejig of everything and just see what we are playing and what we actually aren't anymore. So I can't tell you specifically at the moment. However, I think we have
It's
booked
something with War Child pre-entry.
with War Child. Are we doing that still?
Oh, it's just a gig.
Oh well, yeah. Well, we've been working. Yeah, I've heard of this. Yeah, I remember it. We're working with Hotbox at the moment. That's our promoter. That we enjoy working with. It's the best one that we've found so far.
Yeah, I will say I've come across I've introduced a lot of bands through Hotvox, or Hotvox always seem to be around when I've kind of found a band, and they always seem to be they seem to be treating their bands decently, for one thing, which is, you know, a rarity in itself sometimes in the promoter circle. But in addition to that, they pick good bands, you know, they put on good nights.
I think it's a good thing to say just in an interview. I mean, whether people decide to watch this or not, Underground Sound is the worst promoter in London that I have ever worked with in my life. In fact, Underground Sound, Radar Music, In Pop, More Live, all of these guys are the same company under the same shell. It's terrible.
All right.
Biggest leeches in the London music scene, and it's not just us who believe so. However, if we're in an interview now, I'll take the time to just get that word out.
Okay. Okay, I'll see
You're
if
not
I'll see if I can leave it in. Maybe it's the start of a new series, Cupchairs investigates. You know.
we're not quite a punk band, but if there's anything that I want to start a movement about, it's that. It's just terrible. That's one of the few things that when I started doing the live scene here, I started with them, and the amount of obsessive phone calls to my personal phone was ridiculous. So like, yeah, I'm scarred by it, honestly.
No, this is weird. This is weird. This is 2024. Well, nearly 25. We've got behaviours going on that's like it's the 70s or the 80s. You know, so no, it's a shame that things do change, and then also at the same time nothing changes. So I apologise, on behalf of humanity for the poor experience, because music should be allowed to flourish.
Yeah, but our next gig should be the 17th, I think, through Hotbox. However, that's all to be confirmed. But just check out our social media, because we post we post this stuff. We post it in advance. Usually, as soon as we get the posters, we post it out.
Sure.
Confirmed. So yeah.
Yeah. Keep us posted. So what does a Eeps Christmas look like? Are you going to be sort of bonded over the Christmas period, or are you going your different ways and going, oh, please, holiday season, go away?
We're all leaving him. He's gonna be here.
Well, I'll definitely be writing a lot more depressive tunes this for next year.
No Christmas songs.
No Christmas songs. No. So our drummer at the moment, Jay, he's gone to Turks. I'm not sure what Alex is doing at the moment. I think he's just spending Christmas with his family. Alinka's going to be going back to her place in Kent. It's Kent, isn't it?
Yeah, Kent.
And Blanche is going to France to see her family as well.
Wow, brilliant. Okay, cool.
Left alone in this house.
We convening with the new year, I hope, with lots of momentum, lots of drive, and certainly I wish you all of the rest with it. Platform's yours now. If you've got anything you want to say, any words of encouragement, or to anyone who might be watching, or absolute nonsense.
Actually, we've got a lot of gigs coming up. Hopefully in the future. That's the plan for 2025. As much gigs as possible. Yes, shaky. As much gigs as possible. We also hope to be releasing another single, actually, hopefully before the end of this year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just a small point. It's small detail. We've got how many days left of the year, and you're releasing a single. So, and also in the final 1.5 minutes of the interview. So, what's it called? When's it out?
Okay, so it is currently the 16th of December. Oh, maybe not before the end of this year.
Too late, buddy.
Oh, it's too late now, because see, when we upload music, we need to have 2 weeks before, so it processes and it's all got a really good, nice, smooth release. So maybe it's a bit late now. However, very, very early January. January is definitely when it's going to be released. So our next single is next year, but in January.
And it's called.
It's called Monday's Bloom. It's actually our heaviest song that we're going to have at the moment. Yeah.
But then may I suggest you get your house in order in relation to getting the 2 weeks thing, and probably aim for Monday the 6th, because being the title would be good to be released on a Monday, wouldn't it, really?
It is good to release it on a Monday. However, I have found that Fridays are the best time to release music.
Quite possibly. Right. We have less than a minute. So I'll say goodbye now. Best of luck with the single.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
No worries.
Bye.
Bye.